I'm reading a book today about kindness, but the title of the book is My Friend is Sad, and it's by Mo Willems. Now, this is a picture of Mo Willems, and I think the reason I'm showing that picture is, doesn't he look like he would be an author of children's books? Okay? Isn't that exactly he would expect? This is Mo Willems. Here he is on and everybody knows, these are the characters in the book I'm reading. Okay, one of them is an elephant, and the other is Piggy. And we're going to read this book now, and Sophie is going to hopefully take us through it so you can actually get a sense of it. All right. So here we go. My Friend is Sad by Mo Willems. And it's an elephant and piggy book. So here we go, and as you see, the elephant seems to be sad. Oh, he says. And his friend Piggy sees that he's sad. He sits there just thinking, and Piggy realizes that my friend is sad. In fact, he's almost wallowing in his sadness, and it causes his friend Piggy to say, I will make him happy. I will make him happy. What a wonderful idea. So all of a sudden, you see Piggy come out like a cowboy. Yeah! And Elephant looks over with a question mark. What's that? And he screams, a cowboy! And you can see the cowboy tip his hat as he's rushing around the area, obviously going to make him happy. Oh, but look at Piggy. Oh, he seems sad. And here we learn the name of the elephant, Gerald. And Piggy says, Gerald loves cowboys, but he is still sad. It's very confusing because he showed him a wonderful, funny, interesting thing, but he's still sad. Then all of a sudden, as he's sad, out comes a juggler. Jerry looks at it. The elephant looks at it, wondering what it is, and screams, a clown! A juggling clown. And you can see the clown juggling on the bottoms of his feet. Wow, that would make anybody happy. Oh, the elephant is sad. Piggy says, clowns are funny, but he is still sad. He doesn't know what the problem is. And you look at Piggy, comes out next as a robot. And the elephant looks up. Ah, Gerald the elephant. And screams, a robot! And he sees the robot running around. This is obviously going to make Gerald the elephant very happy. But oh, he goes back down, sad, still feeling a little down. And Piggy says to himself, how can anyone be sad around a robot? I mean, a robot is just the happiest of things. He doesn't know what to do. So then he comes into the scene and says, Gerald? Calls out to his friend. And the elephant sees his friend and goes, Piggy? And Piggy says to Gerald the elephant, I am sorry. I wanted to make you happy, but you are still sad. And then Gerald the elephant says, I am not sad now. I am happy. And you can see that Piggy is a little confused. You are happy, he says. And then Gerald the elephant hugs him and says, I am happy because you are here, as he gives him a big hug. And then Gerald the elephant says, but I was so sad, Piggy, so very sad. And then he tells Piggy, I saw a cowboy. Piggy's looking at him and scratching his head. And Piggy says, But you love cowboys. And he says, I do love cowboys, said Gerald the elephant, but you were not there to see him, as he grabs Piggy to let him know. Well, in fact, says Piggy, and then Gerald the elephant interrupts him and says, there was more. He screams at Piggy. Then I saw a clown. Piggy's scratching his head. A funny, funny clown, says Gerald. And then he says to Piggy, but you were not there to see him. And Piggy tries to say, but, and then Gerald the elephant screams, there's more! A scream so loud that it sends Piggy flying. And he says, I saw a robot! A cool robot! And Piggy is just looking at him like, oh my goodness. And then he says, and my best friend was not there to see it with me. And he gets sad again. And then Piggy says, but, you see, I am here now. And all of a sudden, when he hears that, Gerald the elephant says, you are here now. My friend is here now. And then they look at each other because they are friends, and they sit back to back in total friendship. And Gerald the elephant says, I need my friends. And Piggy says, you need new glasses. And that's the end of it.
Who I am and the book that I'm going to be reading today, The Berenstain Bear's Kindness Counts. So I'm really excited about this book because I think it's important that everybody treat everybody else with kindness, because if you're kind to other people will be kind to you, right? And what's better than a world full of kind people? Like, that's awesome. So that's what this book is about. Now, Brutus, you move over a little bit, buddy. I'm reading the book. Sorry. Brutus is playing with his toy behind me.
He's production value.
Exactly.
Oh, Mousie's on. I also saw Lori Jennings is tuning in as well.
Hey! Hi, Lori. Hi, everybody. Okay, so let's get started, shall we?
Let's do it.
Yep.
There's kindness count. All right. So this is the first page there. That's Big Brother. And that's little friend Billy, who we're going to talk about just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll show the pictures kind of come in. I'll have to move back like this, but then I'll get close so you guys can see the pictures, and we'll talk about the pictures. But I'm going to read it from here. It starts off like this. Brother Bear was a bear of many interests. He enjoyed sports such as basketball, soccer, football, and baseball. He liked to draw and paint, and he was interested in science. He had hobbies like collecting stamps and baseball cards, and he enjoyed fishing and playing video games. But the thing he enjoyed most of all was building model airplanes. Brother Bear playing baseball there. He's doing all sorts of activities, all sorts of things that he has interest in, but that right there was building model planes. He started building model pop-up when he was very young. At first, he made simple plastic models, but soon they were creating flying models out of lightweight wood and paper. Before long, Brother built models all by himself. He kept building bigger and better models that could fly longer, farther, and higher. On trips to the park with Sister Bear, he also took along the latest model flight styles. It was a thrill to wind his propeller for the first time, let it go, fly across the park. And you can see him fly his mind right. One Saturday afternoon, brother tried out his latest, a big model plane painted bright red called the Meteor. He set it down on the grass and wound the propeller. Sister joined him, friends nearby. One of them was minding her younger brother named Billy. He was playing with a small model plane, like the ones brother had when he was. When Billy saw his brother's big new plane, he came over to look. Wow, he said. That's beautiful. Thanks. She's called Meteor. I built it myself, brother said proudly. Wow, said, I wish I could build a like that. And you can see big brother right there playing with his plane. And look at Billy there. So interesting.
Yeah.
He else is there at the park having fun. But brother's playing with his big plane there. Brother finished with the propeller and picked up Meteor. Can I help you fly it, Billy? Brother was proud of the models, careful with them too. They took a long time to build and were easy to bring. If you launched them just right, they could take a nosedive and crash. That means completely fall out of the sky and crash and possibly break. Well, said brother doubtfully, I don't know. But remembered how Papa always let him help out when they were building and flying planes when he was younger. How he learned by helping Papa. Well, said brother, okay, you can help me hold it. Oh boy, thanks, said he was excited. Look how excited he is there. He's super excited. But there's brother there. He's remembered he was a little, he was like in the same position that Billy is today. They both let go, and the big red meteor lifted up and away. Our word, yippee! Yelled Billy. Look at it fly. So awesome. But brother was worried. The meteor was climbing up too steeply. As they watched, the meteor high above the park. It seemed to pause in midair and nosedive suddenly. It went right to the ground. The meteor hit the ground with a nasty crunch. And so there it is flying up in the sky, all the way up. And then it took a nosedive into the ground. Oh boy, that's never good. Brother and Billy ran to the wreck. Brother sadly picked it up and looked at the damage. Billy's big sister and others noticed the excitement and came over. Oh no, said Billy. Is it my fault? Did I do something wrong? Did I throw it instead of let it fly it like you said? Brother shook his head. Of course not, he said. You did fine. This is my fault. I didn't get the balance. Tail's heavy. That's why I went up, paused, and dived down. It's called stalling. Are you going to fix it? Asked Billy. Sure, laughed brother. Build them, fly them, crash them, fix them. That's my motto. Can I help you? Wondered Billy. Now, Billy, said big sister, you're too young to help. But brother remembered how that's how he about model airplane. That's okay, brother told Billy's big sister. Don't mind. Oh, I can do. So Billy came along to Bear's house. Mama and Papa Bear were pleased that big brother was being, And there they are right there. Brother introducing Billy to Mama. Here's Mama and Papa Bear. Mama Bear says, "It's just as the book says. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." Yes, agreed Papa. And it also says in the Bible that a kind person benefits himself. What does that mean? Wondered Brother. Papa said, it means that no act of kindness is wasted. Any kindness you do will always come back to you. Every afternoon that week, Billy helped Brother work. He didn't know very much, but he learned a lot, and he had fun. Fun too. He enjoyed teaching, and he liked having a helper look up to him. The next Saturday, the Meteor was ready for another flight. Brother and Billy parked. Came along to watch. They wound the Meteor's propeller, held it up, and let it fly. It lifted away and rose in a long, even curve. That looks like a good flight, said Brother. There it goes, right there. They lifted it off and into the sky. The Meteor flew on across the field. Slowly, it came down, landing clear on the other side of the park with a 3-point landing. Brother and Billy ran over. It was in perfect shape. Hooray! Billy, jumping up and down. Look at him. Plane landed perfectly with Billy's help. Brother began to wind up another try, but he noticed a group of older cubs coming into the park. It carried a lot and wore jackets. Bear Country Rock Club. Brother went over to watch. They were setting up a mock. They were going to fire it off and come down by parachute. Brother was excited. And there they are right there, the group of other bears in the Rocket Club. And you can see Brother Bear going over to ask a question. "Excuse me," he said to the cub in charge. "Do you think I could help you?" The cub shook his head. "Sorry," he said. "You're too young. It's dangerous." As you can imagine, Brother's a little that. Brother walked away, but he noticed that Billy was standing behind, talking to the older guard. The cub called Brother back. "My cousin Billy tells me you let him help you with your model planes, older cub." Brother just nodded. The older cub smiled. "That was very you. You seem to know a lot about. I guess you can help us out." So the Rocket Club let Brother hold things for them, carry things for them, a little glue here and there. He learned a lot. And when it was time to fire up the rocket, even let Brother push the button. As you can see, they're putting the rocket together, hooking things up there, setting up the model rocket, and there they press the button to launch the rocket. 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire! Cub in charge, and Brother. There was a loud whoosh, and the rocket shot up the sky like a trail of smoke. High above the park, a yellow parachute popped open, and the rocket drifted back to Earth. They ran over to it. It was all twisted and scorched. "Are you going to fix it?" asked Brother. "Sure," laughed the older cub. "Build, fly him, crash him, fix him. That's our motto." "Right?" you asked Brother. The older cub thought it over. Sure. And laughing brother on the back. Why not? So because brother had little kindness to someone himself, became the youngest ever of Bear Country Rugby Club. And was he ever proud? The end.
And we're going to read this book, Good People Everywhere, which is appropriate for right now because it'd be really nice to have good people everywhere. All right, so there it is. Good people everywhere. Okay. All right. Today in neighborhoods all over the world, millions and millions of people are doing very good things. Today, carpenters are building fences and houses. Today, moms and dads are cooking dinners for their families, and cooks are working in kitchens making meals for people who don't have homes. Doctors and midwives are delivering babies and gently passing them in. Teachers are teaching math, spelling, and reading skills. Musicians are opening their hearts and playing beautiful music. You like this book so far? Okay. And dancers are leaping across dance floors, practicing performances that will bring joy to their friends, their families, and their communities. Today, people are planting seeds, picking fruits and vegetables, and driving them to grocery stores all around the world so you can have a ripe, juicy orange in your lunch. What letter does orange start with? Oh, good one. Today, a child is trying her very best to do well on her science test, and a teenage boy is helping a young child who is sad and lonely. Today, a first grade boy is helping a friend who has skinned a knee. And a big sister is holding her baby brother while her mother runs across the street to help a neighbor. Today, millions and millions of people will do very, very good things. And so will you. I wonder what you will do. So the end.
Babika, what are you reading today?
Today, Layla, what book are we reading?
We're reading I Am Love.
I Am Love, a book on compassion.
Amazing. And both of you are definitely love, so I'm very excited. And I am going to give you the floor. So take it away. Reading I Am Love, Missy Babika and Layla Babika. And thank you for doing this with the Little Lighthouse Foundation. We're going to get this out to all 37 of our partner facilities. So thank you so much.
I just have to say before I start this book, you know, whenever John asked me to choose a book to read, this was definitely my first pick. I am love. I am love. I love to see love, show love, feel love.
And love to kiss mommy.
Yes, and love to give kisses. Okay, let's get started with this book. When I see someone going through a storm,
Ooh, nice. But where'd Daddy go?
of hurt and unfairness, of anger and sadness, when the sun disappears and the skies grow dark, and I see that there is fear, I ask myself, what can I do to help let the light back in?
Definitely peaceful. Definitely.
I put my hands on my heart and listen, and that is where I find the answer. I have compassion. I act with tenderness. I am love. I can listen and not say a word. I can be there. Love is being present. I can hug and hold and say, everything will be all right. Love is comfort. I can speak softly and choose my words and actions carefully. Love is gentle.
That's correct.
I can give thanks for all that I have and am able to share. Love is gratitude. I can keep my mind and body safe and healthy. Love is taking care of me. I can express what is important to me. Love is creative. I can know that no one is perfect. Love is understanding. I can do my best to make things better when something is wrong. Love is effort. I can celebrate those that I have loved before. Love is remembering. I can find goodness in a kind word, a helping hand, or a shared smile. Love is tiny gestures. I can breathe in the air that the whole world shares and know all creatures are made from the very same stardust. Love is connection. When the clouds roll in for others and for me, I know now there is something that I can do. I can let my heart lead the way. I am love. You are love. We are love. And with love, we will weather the storm and light up the sky. Together. The end.
Seuss. And I am reading today Horton Hears a Who by the great Dr. Seuss. So, on the 15th of May, in the jungle of Newell. In the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, he was splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joys, when Horton, the elephant, heard a small noise. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked towards the sound. That's funny, thought Horton. There's no one around. Then he heard it again. Just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help. I'll help you, said Horton. But who are you? Where? He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air. I say, murmured Horton, I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yell. So you know what I think? I think there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of a creature of very small size, too small to be seen by this elephant's eyes. Some poor little person who is shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool. He has no way to steer. I'll just have to save him because, after all, a person's a person, no matter how small. So gently, and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air and lifted the little dust speck and carried it over and placed it down safe on a very soft clover. Humph, humphed the voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, humph, too. Why, that speck is as small as the head of a pin. A person on that, why, there never has been. Oh, believe me, said Horton. I tell you sincerely, my ears are quite keen, and I heard him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there, and what's more, quite likely there's two, and even three, even four. Quite likely a family for all that we know, a family with children, just starting to grow. So please, Horton said, as a favor to me, try not to disturb them. Just let them be. I think you're a fool, laughed the sour kangaroo. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, me too. You're the biggest blamed fool in the jungle of Newell. And the kangaroos plunged in the cool of the pool. What terrible splashing, the elephant frowned. I can't let my very small persons get drowned. I've got to protect them. I'm bigger than they. So he plucked up the clover and he hustled away. Through the high jungle treetops, the news quickly spread. He comes to a dust speck. He's out of his head. Just look at him walk with that speck on that flower. Horton walked, worrying, almost an hour. Should I put this speck down? Horton thought with alarm. If I do, these small persons may come to great harm. I can't put it down, and I won't. After all, a person's a person, no matter how small. Then Horton stopped walking. The speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint, he could just barely hear it. Speak up, please, said Horton. He put his ear near it. My friend, came the voice. You're a very fine friend. You've helped us all folks on this dust speck no end. You've saved all our houses, our ceilings, and our floors. You've saved our churches and grocery stores. You mean, Horton gasped, you have buildings there too? Oh yes, piped the voice. We certainly do. I know, called the voice. I'm too small to be seen, but I'm mayor of a town that is friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us who aren't big, they are wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who. We Whos are all thankful and grateful to you. And Horton called back to the mayor of the town, "You're safe now. Don't worry. I won't let you down." But just as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickersham brothers came shouting,
"What rot? This elephant's talking to who's who are not. They aren't any who's, and they don't have a mayor. And we're going to stop all this nonsense. So there.
They snatched Horton's clover and they carried it off to a black-bottomed eagle named Vladikov. A mighty, strong eagle, a very swift wing. And they said,
"Will you kindly get rid of this thing?"
and before the poor elephant could speak, that eagle flew off with a flower in his beak. All that late afternoon and far into the night, that black-bottomed bird flapped his wings in fast flight, while Horton chased after with groans over stones that tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged, "Please don't harm my little folks, who have as much right to live as us bigger folks do." But far, far beyond him, that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulder called back,
Quit your yapping. I'll fly the night through. I'm a bird. I don't mind it. And I'll hide this tomorrow where you'll never find it."
And at 6:56 the next morning, he did it. It sure was a terrible place that he hid it. He left that small clover somewhere inside of a great patch of clovers 100 miles wide.
"Find that?" sneered the bird. "But I think you will fail."
And he left with a flip of his black-bottomed tail. "I'll find it," cried Horton. "I'll find it or bust. I shall find my friends on that small speck of dust." And clover by clover with care, he picked up and he searched them. And he called, "Are you there?" But clover by clover, he found that the one he sought after was just not around. And by noon, poor old Horton was more dead than alive. He had picked and searched and piled up 9,005. Then, on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last, on the 3 millionth flower. "My friends," cried the elephant, "tell me, do tell, are you safe? Are you sound? Are you whole? Are you well?"
"Humph," humped the voice. "For almost 2 days you've run wild and insisted on chatting with persons who've never existed. Such carryings on in our peaceable jungle, we've had quite enough of your bellowing bungle. And I'm here to state," snapped the big kangaroo, "that your silly nonsensical game is all through."
And the young kangaroo in her pouch said,
"Me too." With the help of the Wickersham brothers and dozens of Wickersham uncles and Wickersham cousins and Wickersham in-laws whose help I've engaged, you're going to be roped and you're going to be caged. And as for your dust speck, that we shall boil in a hot steaming kettle of bezelnut oil."
"Boil it?" gasped Horton. "Oh, that you can't do. It's full of persons. They'll prove it to you." Mr. Mayor, Horton called. "Mr. Mayor, you've got to prove now that you are really there. So call a big meeting. Get everyone out. Make every who holler. Make every who shout. Make every who scream. If you don't, every who is going to end up in the bezelnut stew." And down on the dust speck, the little scared little Mayor Quick called a big meeting in Whoville Town Square. And his people cried loudly. They cried out in fear, "We are here! We are here! We are here! We are here!" The elephant smiled. "That was clear as a bell. You kangaroos surely heard that very well." "All I heard," snapped the big kangaroo, "was the breeze and the faint sound of wind through the far distant trees. I heard no small voices, and you didn't either." And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Me neither." "Grab him," they shouted, "and cage the big dope. Lasso his stomach with 10 miles of rope. Tie the knots tight so he'll never shake loose. Then dunk that dumb speck in the hazelnut juice." Horton fought back with great vigor and vim. But the Wickersham game, they were just too many for him. They beat him. They mauled him. They started to haul him into the cage, but he managed to call to the mare, "Don't give up. I believe in you all. A person's a person, no matter how small. And you very small persons will not have to die if you make yourselves heard. So come on now, try." The mare grabbed the tom-tom. He started to smack it, and all over Whoville, they whooped up a racket. They rattled tin kettles. They beat on brass pans, on garbage pail tops, on old cranberry cans. They blew on bazookas in Whoville Town Square. And his people cried loudly. They cried out in fear, "We are here! We are here! We are here! We are here!" The elephant smiled. "That was clear as a bell. You kangaroos surely heard that very well." "All I heard," snapped the big kangaroo, "was the breeze and the faint sound of wind through the far distant trees. I heard no small voices, and you didn't either." And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Me neither." "Grab him," they shouted, "and cage the big dope. Lasso his stomach with 10 miles of rope. Tie the knots tight so he'll never shake loose. Then dunk that dumb speck in the hazelnut juice." Horton fought back with great vigor and vim. But the Wickersham game, they were just too many for him. They beat him. They mauled him. They started to haul him into the cage, but he managed to call to the mare, "Don't give up. I believe in you all. A person's a person, no matter how small. And you very small persons will not have to die if you make yourselves heard. So come on now, try." The mare grabbed the tom-tom. He started to smack it, and all over Whoville, they whooped up a racket. They rattled tin kettles. They beat on brass pans, on garbage pail tops, on old cranberry cans. They blew on bazookas and blasted great toots on clarinets, oompas and boompas and flutes. Great gusts of loud racket rang high through the air. They rattled and shook the whole sky, and the mayor called up through the howling, mad hullabaloo, "Hey, Horton, how's this? Is our sound coming through?" And Horton called back, "I can hear you just fine, but the kangaroo's ears aren't as strong quite as mine. They don't hear a thing. Are you sure all your boys are doing their best? Are they all making noise? Are you sure every who down in Whoville is working? Quick, look through your town. Is there anyone shirking?" Through the town rushed the mayor, from east to west, but everyone seemed to be doing his best. Everyone seemed to be yapping or yipping. Everyone seemed to be beeping or bipping, but it wasn't enough. All this ruckus and roar, he had to find someone to help him make more. He raced through each building and he searched floor to floor. And just as he felt like he was getting nowhere and almost about to give up in despair, he suddenly burst through a door And that mayor discovered one shirker, quite hidden away in the Fairfax apartment. Actually, it was apartment 12J. A very small, no, a very, very small shirker named Jojo was just standing there and bouncing